I want you to think back to the last time you promised yourself you were going to follow your trading plan. You wrote it down. You put a sticky note on your monitor. I will only risk 1%. I will wait for the candle to close. And then, exactly 11 minutes after the market opened, you saw a massive green candle forming. The sticky note became completely invisible. You didn't wait for the close. You didn't calculate your 1%. You slammed the buy button with maximum leverage because your brain screamed, "It's leaving without me." And within 30 seconds, the candle wicked all the way back down, hit your stop loss, and you were left staring at your screen, feeling that familiar, nauseating wave of regret. You looked at your sticky note and thought, why can't I just follow my own rules? Today, we are going to answer that exact question. Heavily inspired by the psychological frameworks of Mark Douglas, we are going to talk about why trading rules actually exist. We are going to expose the terrifying reality of absolute freedom, why your inner teenager is currently running your brokerage account, and how to build the internal mental structure that separates the 10% from the 90%. Grab your coffee, lock the door, let's get into it. Chapter 1. The Trap of Absolute Freedom. Why did you start trading in the first place? If you were like 99% of retail traders, you got into this industry to escape. You hated your 9-to-5 job. You hated having a boss tell you what time to wake up, when you were allowed to eat lunch, and how much money you were allowed to make. You wanted freedom. So you open a brokerage account and you get exactly what you asked for. You step into the financial markets, the only environment on planet Earth where you have absolute, unrestricted, 100% freedom. Think about it. The market has no HR department. The market doesn't require a college degree. There is no manager standing over your shoulder telling you that buying 50 standard lots of gold while sitting on your couch at 3 a.m. is a terrible idea. The market lets you do whatever you want, whenever you want. And that absolute freedom is exactly what is destroying you. As humans, our brains are not evolved to function without external structure. Since the day you were born, society has provided the rules. Your parents told you not to touch the hot stove. School told you to sit down and be quiet. The government tells you to stop at a red light. But when you open MetaTrader, all the traffic lights are gone. You are completely alone in a boundless, structureless void. And because there is no external force stopping you from self-destructing, you immediately self-destruct. Trading rules do not exist to restrict your freedom. They exist to artificially create the boundaries that the market refuses to give you. They are the guardrails on a cliffside highway. Without them, gravity takes over. Chapter 2. The Inner Teenager. Why we rebel. If rules are just guardrails to keep us alive, why is it so incredibly hard to follow them? It goes back to why you started trading. You hate being told what to do. When you sit down and write a strict trading plan, you are effectively acting as the strict boss. But the part of your brain that actually executes the trades, the emotional dopamine-seeking part, is like a rebellious teenager. You write a rule, I will stop trading after 2 consecutive losses. But when you actually take those 2 losses, the inner teenager wakes up. The teenager feels insulted. The teenager says, you can't tell me what to do. I know the market is going to reverse right now. Watch this. And the teenager smashes the buy button for a 3rd time, completely bypassing the boss's orders. You are constantly fighting a civil war inside your own head. You are trying to be the disciplined CEO and the reckless, degenerate gambler at the exact same time. Mark Douglas teaches us that you cannot force the inner teenager to obey through sheer willpower. Willpower is a battery, and it depletes every time you stare at a moving chart. You have to shift your belief system. You have to stop viewing your rules as a punishment and start viewing them as your ultimate protection. Chapter 3. The Seatbelt Analogy. Let me put this into perspective you can't ignore. When you get into your car and merge onto the highway, you put on your seatbelt. Why? Do you put on your seatbelt because you are planning to crash your car into a wall today? Of course not. You think you're a great driver. You put on the seatbelt because you acknowledge that you have absolutely no control over the other drivers on the road. You cannot control if the guy in the lane next to you is texting or if a truck blows a tire and swerves into your lane. You accept the random danger of the environment, so you protect yourself before you ever press the gas pedal. Your trading rules are your financial seatbelt. You do not place a stop loss because you want to be wrong. You place a stop loss because you accept that you have zero control over the institutional algorithms, the global news events, and the millions of other traders clicking buttons at the exact same time as you. When you break your trading rules, when you move your stop loss or average down into a losing position or take a revenge trade, you are literally unbuckling your seatbelt while driving 100 miles an hour down the highway simply because you haven't crashed yet. It's arrogant, it's reckless, and mathematically, it's a death sentence for your account. Chapter 4: The 3 Non-Negotiable Rules of Survival. If you are struggling to build internal structure, I am going to give you the 3 non-negotiable rules you must implement today. These are not strategy rules. These are survival rules. Rule number 1: the predefined setup. You must have a physical checklist of what your edge looks like. If your edge requires price to be above the 50 moving average and it requires a bullish engulfing candle on the 15-minute chart, that is the law. If price is below the moving average but you feel like it's going up, you do not touch the mouse. You do not trade your feelings. You trade your criteria. If the criteria are not present, the market is closed to you. Rule number 2: the capital kill switch. You must define your absolute maximum daily loss before you ever take your first trade. If your account is $10,000 and your daily loss limit is $200, the exact second your equity drops by $200, your trading day is over. Period. I don't care if it's 9:30 a.m. and the perfect setup forms 5 minutes later. The kill switch has been pulled. If you stay at the desk, you are no longer a trader. You are an addict looking for a fix. Rule number 3: the profit acceptance rule. This is for the guys who give their money back. If you hit your target, you take the money. You do not move your take profit further away just because the candle looks really strong. The market does not owe you a home run. You execute the plan, you secure the capital, and you walk away. Chapter 5: Enforcement: Becoming the Casino. Having the rules written down is only step 1. Step 2 is enforcement. A rule without enforcement is just a suggestion. How do you enforce the rules when nobody is watching you? You do it by removing the ego and becoming the casino. A casino does not get emotional when a player wins a hand of blackjack because the casino knows that the rules of the game mathematically guarantee the house will win over the next 10,000 hands. Your rules are your house edge. Every time you follow your rule, even if the trade loses, you must pat yourself on the back. You must rewire your brain to feel dopamine not from making money, but from executing your rules flawlessly. If you take a 1% loss because you followed your trading plan perfectly, that is a successful trade. If you make 10% on a random over-leveraged revenge trade that broke all your rules, that is a terrible, highly destructive trade that reinforces bad habits. You have to learn to judge yourself on your execution, not your P&L. I will leave you with this final thought. It is the ultimate paradox of trading. You came to the markets for absolute freedom. But the only way to actually experience that financial freedom is to subject yourself to the strictest, most rigid discipline of your entire life. Discipline is not the enemy of freedom. Discipline is the price of freedom. If you refuse to build your own internal rules, the market will enforce its rules on you. And the market's only rule is this: it will take all of your money until you learn your lesson or you quit. If this masterclass gave you the reality check you needed today, hit that subscribe button. We are building the 10% here, one disciplined rule at a time. Leave a comment below right now. Tell me the one trading rule you break the most often. Write it down, make it public, and hold yourself accountable. I'll see you in the next one. Stay disciplined.